Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Enhancing Your World show with Larkin and Chris. It is just me today. Take my doggy couch cover off here for everyone so you can see my beautiful couch. Oh, I got a doggy under there. I got a puppy laying on the couch with me. So you guys see a little puppy laying on the couch with me. So, anyway, Chris is out of town this week, having a wonderful and amazing self-evolutionary adventure. And I'm sure he will bring back so much wonderful wisdom and stories to share with us upon his return. So it's just me today, guys, and all of you, whoever chooses to tune in. Welcome, those of you on the live and well, I got booted off there, so we're off to a great start. Anyway, guys, I know this is not the best way to get viewers on YouTube. I'm not starting it out technically the way that I should be, but I want to welcome you guys to this Enhancing Your World. Today, we're going to talk about a really exciting topic, and it's something that you hear every once in a while and people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I don't feel like anybody ever does anything with it. And so I really wanted to talk about this today. We're going to be talking about your reality is whatever you believe it to be. Okay. Your reality is whatever it is you believe it to be. And this is such a cool topic. The concept is really cool. The potential that it has is absolutely awesome. And it's debatable too. It's a debatable topic, especially for I mean, I don't think it's debatable, but it's debatable if you haven't experienced it for yourself. Okay, so we're going to talk today about that. Your reality is whatever you believe it to be. Having been a mindset coach now for 15 years and studied it for well over a decade before that, I can say that this is still a topic that fascinates me. It's something that I work with my clients on every single day. And I want to take you back to a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer decades ago when he said, when you shift, let's see, how did he say it? He didn't say it this way. It'll come to me. Basically, he said, when you shift what you're perceiving, the reality you're perceiving shifts. Okay, so when you change when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay, and nothing has meaning unless we give it meaning. Nothing. All right. So this goes to show that you have the power to transform and manifest externally by doing inner transformational work, and that your external world is a reflection of your internal world and vice versa. Okay. But the manifesting, the starting all comes from you. So, whatever it is, when you can encompass and take hold of the power to actually shift your perception, your perceptual reality in the internal, your external will change. Okay, your external will shift. And this is so powerful for people that have already experienced this and know what I'm talking about. Once you're blown away by this, you're always blown away by this. I mean, it never goes away, the powerful effects of this. But most people are living a disempowered life, not recognizing their power in this. Here's the imbalance that we have in our world today that affects each and every one of you tremendously. We don't communicate where we need to be communicating, and we over communicate and communicate the wrong things where it's actually more hurtful to us. Okay, we kind of do everything inside out in our world today. And one of the things Chris and I are trying to establish here for each and every one of you is a simple base for living that kind of aligns everything for you. And one of those things is perception. So, is everything perception? No, not really, because there is an ultimate reality. But most of the reality we experience here in this world is an impartial reality. Okay. It is a reality that we create based on our perception. It is a reality that we create based on our beliefs, which are just repeated thoughts. And so we end up recreating. People want to know, why do we end up recreating our past in our present and in our future? This is one of the reasons why. Beliefs are just repeated thoughts, right? And most of our beliefs come from, and they're stored in our subconscious mind. What is our subconscious mind? That 95% of your mind you are unaware of. Okay. So if the 95% of your mind you're unaware of is what is running your life, what is ruling your life, what is creating your life, what is manifesting, then of course people are going to be trying to create transformation, and they're not going to be getting anything. They're not going to be getting the transformation, right? This is why people feel, one of the reasons people feel stuck, and it's why people continue to recreate and remanifest the same things they don't want over and over and over. Think about it. You come home and you walk in, and you're greeted with all the same things that you typically don't like about your day. You walk in the door, and maybe the dog is peed on the floor, the garbage can's turned over, you've got bills sticking out of the mailbox, you're reminded you have to take the trash out, all the things you've got to do, right? And so what most people do is they come in and they are they take in their senses, and they reiterate that 95% of their mind you're unaware of. Those belief systems project on the reality. And they start saying and thinking things like, oh, here we go again. Nothing's ever going to change. Why can't I just come home and relax? Yada, 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 yada. And it goes on and on and on. Now, what ends up becoming then of their home that's supposed to be a sanctuary? What does it become? What does that pattern and habit of, oh, thank God, I'm finally off work. Now I can go home and relax. They think that maybe all the way home, or else they're already anticipating the things they don't like when they get home, right? And so I ask you this question then. How can you possibly expect to have a new and different reality when you're doing that? You see, you get what you believe. And let's break this down again. What are repeated thoughts again? I'm sorry, what are beliefs? Again, beliefs are just repeated thoughts. So if you get what you believe, and beliefs are repeated thoughts, and you keep reiterating the same thoughts over and over and over and over and over, the same habits and repetition over and over and over and over and over, what's going to happen? You're going to, by universal law, you're going to continue manifesting more of the same. And then people say, I feel stuck. People say, why can't I change? Why can't I manifest something new? Why can I not manifest the things I want to manifest, right? Well, this, my friends, is one of the major reasons why. This is one of the major reasons why. Okay. So let's look at this in a way that then let's look at the other side of that. Let's look at the aspect of what we have to let go of that we don't and cannot control. Okay. Just as I mentioned before, we tend to under communicate or have a lack of communication where we need to and it would serve us. And we tend to over communicate where it would hurt us. The same thing goes for our perspective of control. We have a tendency to want and need to control certain things. Maybe the things we're panicked about or we're desperate about or we're afraid of, right? And yet the things that we do have control of, we tend to feel helpless about and we don't take the proper action. Okay. So, in other words, we will spend a lot of time maybe complaining about other people or circumstances. You can't control other people and you only have so much say in certain circumstances, right? Depends on the circumstance. But yet, with your reality, you are reflecting exactly what you're choosing, whether you know it or not, within. Okay. So there seems to be an irony there. But if we could flip the switch, if people would recognize where to let go control, where to trust and let God, right? Where to trust in the process, to trust life, to trust that things are always working out for them. And yet, in those other circumstances, they would take radical responsibility. This is where we have a tremendous imbalance. Okay. And we really need to kind of flip the script on this. And so many people, I mean, I've been coaching now for 15 years. And really, our struggling and suffering is self made, guys. Our struggling and suffering we create. But if we were taught in our society, which you can learn on your own, to take radical responsibility where you're really blaming others and making up excuses, and where we would let go of our effort to control, where we really can't control and we need to let go and trust things are always working out for us, since we're taught to do the opposite of what I just described. If we would just flip that switch, we would be so empowered. This is one of the things I help my coaching clients with. Okay. But if people come to Chris and I all the time, and I think for Chris a lot of times it's they want healing or something they want healing for me it's I want to transform my life, I want to learn to manifest. But here's the number one thing I will ask on a discovery call or on a sales call, um and that is, are you willing to do the things and make the different choices that you have not been willing to do and make? Are you willing to get out of the comfort zones that you've been unwilling to get out of? Are you willing to make the choices that scare you, that are unfamiliar? Are you willing to go where you've not gone before? Are you willing to be uncomfortable for a while and make the unfamiliar familiar and the uncomfortable comfortable? Right? So, see, we have this irony where everybody wants what they want and they want immediate gratification, but they're unwilling to go through the process, and it's all a process. They're unwilling to go through the actual process necessary to create the transformations required to get the manifestations that they want. Because make no mistake about it, transformation is required in order to, sorry, I gotta pick something up here. Transformation is required in order to manifest the things that you're envisioning. Why? Because as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, you must become the version of you that would do, have, and be what you're desiring. You must become first the person that would do, have, and be what it is you're wanting. Okay. And this is a recipe, guys. There are recipes for success, if you will. There are recipes for healing. There are recipes for transformation. There are recipes for manifesting. And, they're actually very simple, but I find that it's us humans that make it so difficult. We make it difficult because we have resistance, right? Which is synonymous with mind, which is synonymous with thought, which is synonymous with ego. says Eckhart Tolle. Okay, so what do we, if we really, Chris and I try to strip this down and we simplify it. And we've both done this through years and years of coaching and our own struggles and suffering and transformations. So, what is really required for why you come to broadcasts like this? If you're wanting change, you're wanting transformation, you're wanting to manifest, my question to you would be, are you doing what's really required? And if you've been doing this for 6 months or more and you're not getting any results, the chances are the answer is no, you're not. And what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? Because if you're not willing to do something different than what you've done before, number one, if you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, kind of the same thing. Okay. If you're not willing to take radical responsibility, if you're not willing to let go control, then you might as well just toss whatever it is you're wanting out in the pond. Just toss in the water, because there are certain foundations that have to happen energetically and mindset wise for you to manifest. There are certain things that have to happen energy wise and mindset wise for your new and desired realities to happen. Okay. And I see people get on and off of this broadcast. And again, we have the goldfish mentality, right? Like 3.8 seconds or 3.5 seconds attention span. If people don't hear what they want to hear in that amount of time, they go on to the next thing. But this is the hub of the problem. This is the core of why most of you don't create the transformation and the manifestations that you desire. This is exactly why. I don't like the term, but if we look at the term successful people or people who manifest that which they want, do you know what they do? All the things I've just been mentioning. They take radical responsibility for where they are and where they're going. They let go of the outcomes. They make the unfamiliar familiar. They make the uncomfortable comfortable, right? Because although in your visions, the things that you want feel safe, feel comfortable, in reality, they're all out of your comfort zone. If you have an ideal relationship that you're dreaming of, that you're wanting to manifest, guess where it is? Outside of your comfort zone. If you're having a business or money or maybe healing and health that you're wanting, where is that? Outside of your comfort zone. And again, we go back to the 95% of your mind you're unaware of. People might get tired of me saying this, but this is the crux of it, guys. If you've been struggling to create or manifest something or transform something and you don't feel like it's working, keep in mind that 95% of your mind you are unaware of is what is creating your reality. And this is why you feel stuck. Keeping in mind, you are never, ever, ever stuck. You are never stuck. And believe me, I don't want to speak for Chris, but I know that Chris and I have both felt stuck many, many times in our lives. So we know what it feels like to feel stuck. But you can feel something and that doesn't make it true. I just saw a great video from Eckhart Tolle on this the other day, and I'll probably share it on my My Powerful Choices Awareness Network Facebook page. Feelings are just that. They're just feelings. They're road signs. They're messengers. They're a guidance system. But people mistaken feelings for the ultimate truth. And your feelings are not the ultimate truth. Okay? They're just messengers and road signs. But people decide their whole lives based on feeling. And they believe feeling as though it's fact. Feeling is not fact. Okay? As Eckhart Tolle was saying in this video, you can observe your feelings, acknowledge your feelings, but remember they are not fact. If you begin to allow those feelings or those emotions are actually two different things. Emotions are the mind and the body. If you begin to allow those emotions to run away with you, they will start being the manifesting factor in your life, which is why people feel stuck. They're devastated because they lost a job or they're broke or someone broke up with them. And they have a mood for a few days, and this becomes something that then they have for weeks or months. This becomes a habit or a pattern. They're believing the emotion and what they think it's telling them as though it's fact, and it's not. So, what happens if you have a recipe, maybe you're a chemist and you have facts, you have instructions for this particular outcome that you're trying to create or this particular experiment. And you're like, well, I just don't, you ignore it. You ignore some of it. What's going to happen to that recipe? What's going to happen to that concoction? Right? So think about that when it comes to your own life. If you're upset or hurt or whatever it is, jealous, frustrated, and that becomes your habit and pattern, and you are believing your emotions as though they are fact, and you start living from and creating from them, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Okay. So, anyway, these are things that are really important for you guys to consider. And not a lot of time needs to be taken to this. I'm actually not going to stay on an hour because I've had very few viewers, just simply because Facebook still has me blocked from going live in all of my groups and pages. I don't know why. There are 0 restrictions on my account, and I have submitted dozens of help forms, and I've gotten absolutely no response. So I believe it was a glitch in the system. I believe that AI, they removed one of my videos 2 weeks ago accusing me of spamming myself, which I wasn't. I share things across all my pages all the time. I think they didn't like it because I had a YouTube link in there. And then the next day, I was blocked from going live in all my pages and groups. And usually Facebook is very good about at least telling you. I mean, you can't argue it, really. You can't get back to them. You can't force them to change anything. But at least they usually at least say, we've restricted you on this. They let you know. They haven't done that, which tells me it's a fluke. So hopefully they'll respond to me shortly. But I'm going to cut this short because I usually have hundreds of viewers. And because I can't go live on Facebook, I'm stuck trying to use Chris's and my YouTube pages, which are new and small, and they're just getting started. And I'm on Chris's Facebook page here too for Enhancing Your World. But nonetheless, this has been a very powerful video. And, I shared with you wisdom and guidance that I have been sharing with my coaching clients for 15 years that are some of the core foundations for why your life is where it is, for why your life is the way it is, and for why you may feel stuck and why you're finding it challenging to create the transformations and manifestations that you desire. Okay. All right, guys, this is so much fun. I hope you guys at least find me here on the YouTube replays. I will be sharing it on Facebook. I love you guys. Chris and I will both be back next week. We'll see you guys then. Don't forget, if you want a free discovery call, we both offer free discovery calls. They are not sales calls. They are not free readings. They are not free coaching sessions. They are discovery calls. This means we investigate what it is you're wanting and needing, and let you walk out of that free 20-minute call with a plan. Okay, so you know what next 3 steps to do. So if you're serious about those inquiries, let me know. Thank you all for those of you that tuned in. Mwah. I will see you on my next live and/or next Wednesday back here at 1 p.m. EDT with Chris. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Bye.